My husband decided to leave me on a deserted road and start a new life with another woman. But the mysterious woman who appeared before me called out to me, "Your husband will regret leaving you with the richest woman in this city." That morning, the fight felt like it cracked the walls of the house. Lydia stared into her cold coffee while the man across from her, Ethan, fired words like bullets. "This project is our future," he said, cutting his omelet as if nothing had happened. "No," Lydia murmured. "It's your statue of pride." Ethan's eyes flared. "You don't get it," he said, voice cold as steel. "I'm going to be one of the top names in this city. People will respect me." "While we're drowning in debt?" she shot back. Ethan slammed his fist on the table. Plates rattled. "I don't hate you, Lydia," he said with an icy grin. "I just pity how small you think." Something deep inside her broke in that instant. Ethan stood, grabbed his jacket. "Get ready," he said. "We're leaving." "Where?" "Someone needs your signature." That was all he said. Lydia followed quietly. The city disappeared behind them, replaced by gray skies and wind-torn fields. Suddenly, Ethan swerved off the main road, stopping at a lonely bus stop. "Get out," he ordered. "What?" "Get out." "Why?" "Because we're done." He hit the gas before she could speak. Dust swallowed her whole. She stood frozen. Every memory, every promise, gone with a single acceleration. She reached into her coat, no wallet, no phone, nothing. Just an endless road stretching 30 kilometers back to the city. She tried walking, but her knees trembled. She sank onto a broken bench, tears spilling silently. That's when she heard a faint sound, breathing, raspy, old. On the far end of the bench sat an elderly woman, dark glasses hiding her eyes, a wooden cane resting by her knee. "Stop crying," the woman croaked. "Tears don't put out fire." Lydia flinched. "Who are you?" "Someone people thought was blind. Someone who sees everything now." The old woman tilted her head. "Your husband left you, didn't he?" Lydia nodded weakly. "If you want," the woman said calmly, "I can make him regret it tonight." Lydia blinked. "How?" "Pretend to be my granddaughter. My driver will be here soon, and your husband will pay dearly for leaving you with the richest woman in the city." Lydia didn't believe her, but darkness was falling fast. Just then, a sleek black car rolled up. The driver stepped out, bowing slightly. "We're ready, madam." The woman turned to Lydia. "Come, my dear." Against all reason, Lydia climbed in. The car smelled of leather and power. Outside silence, fields, night. Inside warmth. "My name is Valeria Durova," the woman said after a while. "I know everyone's secrets because no one is careful around the blind." When the car finally stopped, it was before a towering mansion. Dark brick, high walls, cameras everywhere. Inside, the air was thick with luxury and control. Valeria removed her glasses. She wasn't blind. Her eyes were sharp enough to cut through steel. "Your husband threw you away because you were in his way," she said. "He's selling the apartment registered in your name." Lydia's blood froze. "How do you know?" "Because I was the buyer," Valeria replied with a thin smile. "But I prefer to deal with you. He and I have history." "Why help me?" "Because my enemy's enemy is my weapon." Lydia stared at her. "What do you want in return?" "Obedience," Valeria said. Um, and patience. I'll give you lawyers, a new phone, new clothes. For now, just do what I say." Lydia hesitated, then nodded. "Good. First step, go home." He changed the locks. Go anyway. That night, the car dropped her near her old building. The lights in the windows stabbed like knives. She climbed the stairs, tried the keys, nothing fit. Then she heard laughter inside, Ethan's voice, and another woman's. Lydia peered through the window curtain. Ethan sat on the couch, his arm around a well-dressed brunette, Lena, the prosecutor's daughter. Around her neck was Lydia's mother's pearl pendant. Lydia pounded on the door. "Open up." This is my house. Ethan didn't move. Minutes later, police arrived. Ethan came out, calm, collected, holding documents. This property now belongs to me, he said softly. My wife is unstable. I've filed for divorce. Liar, Lydia screamed. But the officers only looked at the stamped papers. By the time Valeria's lawyer showed up, Lydia had stopped shaking. We'll sue him, he said, but it will take time. That night, Valeria watched her from the fireplace. You can't cry this away, she said. You fight fire with fire. I'll show you how. By morning, Lydia had lost her job too. Her boss called to say she'd been put on indefinite leave due to public image concerns. Friends stopped answering. One texted, please don't call again. Ethan had taken everything home. Career, dignity. Valeria's voice echoed in her mind. You're not done until you choose to be. Then came the plan. Tomorrow there's a charity gala, Valeria said. He'll be there. Go. Look him in the eye. Ask one question he can't answer. Lydia didn't understand, but she went. The next evening, she appeared at the event in a simple black gown. Ethan was on stage, basking in applause. She waited until the speech ended. Ethan, she called. The crowd fell silent. When you sold my mother's apartment, she said, voice trembling, did you sell her necklace too? The air froze. Ethan's mouth opened, but no words came. Lena rushed forward, forcing a laugh. She's sick, she told the crowd. She needs help. Then she held up her phone, playing a video, Lydia, tipsy, singing at a party. The whispers started instantly. People stared, disgusted. Lydia's face burned. She turned and walked out through the flashes and laughter. The night outside was freezing. She stood beneath the streetlight, shaking. Then the black car slid silently to a stop. Madam is waiting, said the driver. Lydia got in. Valeria didn't yell. She just looked at her. You embarrassed yourself, she said coldly. I handed you a weapon and you dropped it. Lydia said nothing. There's only one way left, Valeria continued. Your father's original property documents. Where are they? In the old house, Lydia said softly. Bring them. That night she went. The abandoned family home smelled of dust and time. She found the blue folder, inheritance, papers, signatures, real seals, proof. But as she reached for it, her hand brushed against a loose floorboard. Beneath it, an old metal box. Inside were passports, Ethan's and Lena's, with recent stamps and flight plans, and construction permits bearing her stolen signature. They were framing her for corporate fraud. Her heart raced. She called the only person she thought she could still trust, her sister, Mira. Please, she begged, take these papers to your lawyer friend. I can't do this alone. Of course, Mira whispered. Give them to me. I'll take them to Moscow myself. Lydia handed her the documents, keeping only the blue folder. That night, she actually slept. For the first time in weeks, she felt safe. But at dawn, fists hammered the door. Police stormed in. Lydia Romanova, you're under arrest for forgery and fraud. What? She cried. The officers found the blue folder. Anonymous tip, one said. As she was led outside, she saw a man shaking hands with the police inspector, the very lawyer Mira had promised would help. In that moment, truth hit her like ice water. Mira had sold her out, her own sister. The interrogation was brutal. 2 days later, she was released. Valeria had paid bail. You trusted blood, Valeria said. That was your mistake. Then what do I have left? Lydia asked. Nothing, Valeria said, which means you're finally free to act. She introduced her to a journalist, Viktor Danilov, disgraced but brilliant. Together they dug into Ethan's finances. Hidden accounts, bribes, transfers to an untraceable name. Blackmail, Victor muttered. Someone owns him. Lydia remembered the scent of expensive, spiced cigarettes. Victor's eyes narrowed. That brand, he said, belongs to Valeria's driver. The world tilted. They followed Ethan for days, until one night they caught it. Ethan handing a thick envelope to a man who then walked to a waiting car. The driver stepped out. The gold emblem cigarette between his fingers glowed in the dark. Valeria's man. Lydia's breath caught. Everything, every kindness, every promise had been a lie. Valeria had orchestrated the whole war. Ethan was just another pawn. Lydia was the weapon. Rage drowned out fear. She went straight to Valeria's mansion. The woman looked up from her book, not even surprised. So you found out, she said. Why? Lydia demanded. Because revenge needs soldiers, Valeria replied. And you were desperate enough to fight. You used me, and you let me. Lydia stood shaking. Then I'll finish this my way. Good, Valeria said, smiling faintly. Now you're ready. The next day, Valeria arranged a meeting with Prosecutor Demidov, the man behind Ethan's illegal deals. He offered Lydia freedom for silence. Give me the files, he said, and disappear. Lydia stared at him. For a moment, she imagined walking away. A quiet life somewhere far. Then she saw Ethan's face, Lena's smirk, Mira's tears. No, she said, I'm done running. That night, she and Victor set the final trap. A fake article circulated online, Swiss investors ready to buy Ethan's construction project. The bait was irresistible. Ethan called, We need to meet. The investors want you there. They agreed on a hotel, but an hour before, Ethan changed the plan. No hotel, the factory, 7 p.m. Bring the documents, alone. Lydia's pulse steadied. Okay, she said quietly. She knew it was a setup, but for once, it was her stage. When she arrived, 3 of them waited. Ethan, Lena, Demidov. The documents? Ethan asked. She placed them on the desk. Where's the money? Lena sneered. Lydia smiled faintly. Right here. Floodlights exploded outside. Cameras rolled. Federal agents poured in. Nobody moved. Demidov froze. Ethan lunged, screaming. Lydia stepped aside. He slammed into a cabinet. She hit play on her phone. His own voice filled the room, confessing everything. Bribes, forgery, blackmail. Lena's face turned white. You ruined us, she screamed as agents cuffed her. Demidov stuttered. I'm the prosecutor. The lead agent replied coolly. Exactly. Within minutes, it was over. Weeks later, Lydia stood at her window, watching the sunrise paint her city gold. Her apartment hers again. New locks, new life. Her phone rang. Congratulations, said her former boss. You're now head of planning. You saved the company. She smiled faintly. After all the chaos, silence felt sacred. Maybe to defeat monsters, you had to learn their language. But she wasn't one of them. Not anymore. She'd simply built herself from the ashes, and this time, no one would ever take her home away again.